I'm at the bank making money, making moves. Machines with tools and drills, making grooves. Missions impossible.
What is up, investors? Welcome back to In the Green with Charlie. Today, I am excited to have investor user Roger Haynes as my guest. He talks to me from Germany about how downloading the app earlier this year has helped him to become a much more effective investor. Here is our conversation. Hello, Roger. How are you doing today?
Hey, Charlie. How's it going? Doing good?
I'm great. So, Roger, could you briefly just start by introducing who you are, where you're from, and what you do for a living?
So, yeah, I'm Roger. I'm here in Germany. I mean, I sound like the typical German because I am not. I immigrated or moved over here for love. So I'm here in Germany now and doing a little bit of learning as things go. But I'm also just working, doing the regular daily process now as a system administrator for one of the global automotive companies. I won't say who, but yeah.
Where are you originally from?
Born and raised in Jamaica, but then moved to the US when I was little.
Could you tell us how you got first involved in the stock market? What was the first time in your life you ever did anything with the stock market?
So it may be a little bit interesting in the sense that the recent, when was that, in February or so, we had the crazy market crash going on. So I was in the office. I just remember talking to a few of my colleagues and saying, hey, what's going on? Everything is going down. One of my colleagues, she does some stock trading. So she was trying to get me involved in it. Never thought I had the skills or the interest per se, but every now and then I would check on the stock markets and just to see what's going on. During the crash, I started thinking, oh man, this is getting crazy. But then the idea thought, hey, if everything is crashing, then lots of stuff that I wanted to buy would be much cheaper now. So maybe it would be a good time to jump in. And that's when I started looking into it a little bit more in regards to what options are available and how we could get it working. Tested out a few of the apps on the App Store and just to play around with. And then that's how I eventually came to Investor.
That's very cool. How did your experience on Investor in the first month of you trying it out go?
Horrible in the sense that everything worked perfectly, but just obviously the learning phase where all the trades I made were just horrible. If you look at my history, you could see some of that too. But yeah, I think based on talking to other people in the community, they said, yeah, that's pretty much standard for all of us. We all went through the same learning curve and crashed hard pretty much to the point where we wanted to give up. But you stuck with it and learned and learned and learned and talked to other people, which is why I think the investor community is so awesome, because you could just share experiences and learn from other people. And they say, no, give some encouragement to say, yeah, keep on going, don't worry about it. You will eventually get there. And eventually I got there to the point, where I'm up 70% now for this month.
Yeah, you've had an incredible month. So what are some of the ways you've grown from that first month until now where you can be very successful?
Patience is what I would say first. Because at first I had I guess maybe a little bit expecting that I buy a trade that's going up, it would continue going up. Obviously, the market doesn't work that way. It could drop 1 second later for whatever reason. So I learned that, and to have some patience, not to try to trade every 2 seconds, and just give the market time to settle out. And after a few days and so, I started realizing, okay, do a little bit more of the reading, as in reading news and so in the community, or talking to the other users or following other users, seeing what they're doing, and then just being more patient in regards to letting it roll. Nora Lee, the CMO, I guess, she just mentioned to me like, hey, I'm just doing my strategy of buying and holding, and I started trying a little bit of that and worked out good. But I started mixing and matching a little bit from different people. Hunter Berg is one person that I kind of follow. So I follow a little bit of the advice he gives in regards to Bitcoin mainly, but other little tips and tricks that he posted out. Thomas Quinlan, I think I say his name wrong. But in any case, I follow those guys. And they helped me a lot in regards to, just learning and what steps I need to take next.
How would you describe your strategy on the app?
Some months I have really chaotic things because yeah, it's still a learning phase for me. Yeah, this month I did really good as you pointed out, but in general it's still learning. So some months I just try a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So if I have a bunch of followers that are wondering what's wrong with Roger this month, that's it's just me learning and just trying a bunch of random stuff. Some months I try to do the what I learned from the Investor Academy, whereas you pick a strategy and focus on that and just follow it throughout the whole month. And some months I do that, and some months I'm just all over the place, as I mentioned.
So what's your strategy been this month that has made you so successful?
This month I have been holding a lot. There's a few that I bounced around, including from Bitcoin. I did, yeah, buying and selling in a few of those because that was a bit volatile. And September, I guess, is the month that Nick, the community manager, mentioned is a little bit crazy. So I was a little bit not wanting to hold everything all month. But in general, I have a few long holds, not super long, but they're maybe 14 days or so out of the 24 days we are or so. But the others it's a bit of mix and match. Let's just say that. Mostly holds.
What have been some of those long holds and what got you to choose those as your long holds?
I have as a long hold, I'm looking up real quick, Tesla and gold, the commodity, silver and gold. I had those as long holds. Apple, Overstock, and yep, that's it.
What made you choose those specific instruments?
Because I bought those in real life. So those were my okay, if I'm gonna play it as a part of the stock market on fantasy finance investor, then I'm gonna do it as I do in real life and see how that works out. And then for the other stuff, that's just based on reading news. And so I just say, okay, let's try and see if this would work. If I had played it in real life, what would have been the outcome? In some cases, obviously, it doesn't work out so well, but the Apple and such that I know are pretty much stable. This month, not so much, but in general, they've been mostly stable for the past couple of months. So I've just been holding those as a result.
That makes a lot of sense. So I'm sure as someone who's been successful and has a good number of followers on the app, you often get asked, how do you pick the stocks you pick? What stock should I pick? What's your answer to that question when people ask you?
Yeah, my general thought is, yeah, as I mentioned, I follow a few of the popular ones, I'd say. Hunter Berg, I follow because, yeah, he posts lots of daily and interesting tidbits. And then also following other top leaders in the leagues just to see what they're doing. As I mentioned earlier, Thomas Quinlan. I'm sorry, Thomas, if I keep messing up your name. But pretty much, yeah, if you're following me, try to also follow who I'm following if you could see that. I don't know if that's possible. But in general, those are the people I follow and base my stock picks off those, as well as, yeah, just reading the news that comes up in the news feeds.
Yeah, it's amazing how much you can learn from other people's advice and actions on the app.
Yep.
So where do you think the market is headed over the course of the next few months? What's your prediction for markets as a whole?
As a whole, I am thinking, I mean, yeah, in general, my whole goal is that it expects to goes up. I'm thinking, yeah, up just because that's how it's been going. This month, obviously, it's been pretty terrible, but with the expectation that there's a second wave in regards to Corona, there's a few stock picks that are generally expected to go up, such as the stay-at-home stocks is what I call those, such as Zoom or any type of cloud type services, CrowdStrikes or Microsoft's or Apple's in general, because those are the stocks that have benefited as a result of Corona. But in general, the stock market I expect to go up just because I expect and hope the virus situation will get to a point where we're either that's considered the new normal, so we're all living with it, and it's like we get a cold every year and everybody get it and then they move on, or it gets eradicated and we no longer have to worry about it. As a result, everything goes up again.
Do you have any final thoughts or any final things you want to say to the investor community?
In general, yeah, I would say for people that are new to investor and listening to this, yeah, if you're discouraged because things haven't been going so well, keep at it. I learned, and you will learn just the same. Eventually, get to a point where you find your own strategy and have decided, okay, yeah, this is what I'm going to do, and this works for me. And you don't have to do exactly what I do. You just do what works for you. For the investor, let's say the Nora Lees and these CEOs and so the investor employees, keep up the good work. You guys have built a great community, and I'm really loving it. So I'm sure I could probably say that for a lot of other people just the same. So thanks a lot for what you guys have created. It helps, and yeah, can't say thank you anymore.
Awesome. Well, I would like to say thank you for giving your time and coming on In the Green today.
Thanks a lot, Charlie.
Money making moves, machines with tools and drills making grooves, missions impossible.
I am not a financial advisor, and my comment should never be taken as financial advice. Investments come with risk, so always do your research and analysis beforehand.